Most people are unaware of the many things that go on behind the scenes for a Sigma male. There's much more to these enigmatic people than meets the eye, despite their stern facade and understated demeanor that sometimes lead people to underestimate them. Sigma males are not the mysterious outlaws they seem to be. Far from it. They have a complicated inner life and a distinct way of thinking that the general public misunderstands. Thus, they would rather hide some characteristics. Comprehending these implicit levels might illuminate the reasons for their behavior. Even though Sigma males don't usually want attention, there are 6 secrets they would never, ever want you to know. Number 1. Their feelings are deep, yet they know how to keep them hidden. There's a plethora of emotions swirling inside under that serene surface. Because Sigma males are skilled at hiding their emotions, a lot of people ignore this. They may appear carefree or even apathetic, but don't let that deceive you. They have strong emotions. It resembles an iceberg in that their actual feelings are concealed under the surface. When faced with difficult circumstances, individuals frequently choose to manage things independently while keeping their emotions to themselves. This keeps them focused and independent, but it can also set them apart from other people. Even though they may come out as calm and collected, they may be going through a tornado of emotions and ideas that they choose not to discuss. This might cause miscommunication since people can think they're not interested or that they're not feeling anything. Frequently, they choose to watch rather than take part in discussions on emotions. When they're taking in everything around them, they can only nod in agreement or give a little grin. Their profound listening skills help them understand others, but they can often make their problems seem worse. They frequently pretend to be strong when it comes to their emotions because they think that being vulnerable or weak will come off as weakness. But their depth of feeling is not a flaw. Rather, it's what sets them apart. Like everyone else, they go through highs and lows, but without the show. Because of this, people sometimes feel alone in life since they are hiding their feelings. Although friends may perceive them as tough or unfazed, others who know them better can discern the depth of their character. Their ability to deal with their emotions in silence, rather than becoming emotionless, is what gives them power. This results in a vibrant inner life that is full of original ideas, insights, and a comprehension of the human condition that many others overlook. Because of this, men who identify as Sigma males rarely hurry to express their thoughts and emotions to others. Number 2. They occasionally find it difficult to accept compliment politely. Although receiving praise may seem like a straightforward conversation, Sigma males find it difficult. When they get compliments on their professional or personal accomplishments, they may react in a variety of ways. They may appear grateful and grin on the surface, but on the inside, it might feel uncomfortable. There are a few common causes of this difficulty. These people are accustomed to operating beneath the radar. To start with, when individuals receive compliments nonstop, it might seem oddly overpowering and attract attention they aren't particularly looking for. Though the spotlight might be unsettling, they may appreciate the good remarks, and it can be difficult to reply without seeming weird. Even Sigma males don't always think compliments are sincere. Naturally dubious, they might question if the other person is really being kind or if they're trying to get anything from them. They're just accustomed to relying on themselves and not on the views of others. It's not that they can't take praise. It seems strange to them, therefore, when someone compliments them out of the blue. It's as if they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Naturally, things aren't always like that. Even though most compliments are sincere and well-meaning, Sigma males find it difficult to take them at face value. They might second-guess themselves in an attempt to maintain their modesty and not appear overly touched by the compliments. This internal conflict might result in an unpleasant conversation where neither party knows how to move on. Although it might be difficult for them to express it at the moment, Sigma males do, on the inside, appreciate the pleasant remarks. The fact that compliments cling to a strong feeling of humility is another reason why they might be difficult. They put up a lot of effort and are happy with their accomplishments, but they don't think highly of them. Instead, they regard them as a reflection of who they are. As a result, when someone compliments them, they frequently play it down, seeming to be attempting to maintain their humility. Rather than taking compliments, they might minimize their contributions or divert attention by focusing on others. This may also stem from wanting to not come across as arrogant. They don't want other people to believe they're acting superior to them or attempting to flaunt themselves. Therefore, when they receive praise, it may cause them to question how to react without coming off as conceited. Number 3. They often feel misunderstood, but rarely bother to explain themselves. Many people frequently feel misunderstood, and this frequently hurts people who would rather stay out of the spotlight. It's more a matter of personal expression for Sigma males, not that they are opposed to interacting with others. It might be annoying when someone misinterprets your intentions. It's like making a joke that nobody laughs at. Rather than vehemently articulating their position, they often retreat, asking themselves, why bother? A certain comfort comes from keeping things to oneself. They consider it somewhat meaningless, in contrast to those who would use the opportunity to defend or clarify their opinions. Why provide context for an emotion that might just cause greater uncertainty? It's simpler to overlook misunderstandings than to start a conversation that can get unpleasant. They may feel disconnected from others as a result of this practice, but they would rather avoid awkward conversations. It is frequently difficult for people to understand the depth of their feelings and ideas. Characters that are vocal and outspoken are usually favored in the world, whereas those who internalize their emotions are often ignored. They may roll their eyes, brush it off, and reply, "That's not me," in response to someone trying to categorize them inaccurately or fit them into a stereotype. They may take offense at these falsehoods, but they won't hurry to correct the record. Number 4. They often struggle with decision paralysis. Although many people believe that Sigma males always know everything, this isn't always the truth. They occasionally run into difficulty with making decisions, particularly significant ones. It might be difficult for them to go on when they become caught up in a loop of overanalyzing and considering every scenario. Regardless of how composed they seem, anyone can get unexpectedly overcome by this emotion, which is known as choice paralysis. Sigma males might become overwhelmed with alternatives when it comes to major purchases, job decisions, and even more important life decisions like which business to start or where to reside. Although they are analytical by nature, this quality might occasionally prevent them from coming to a choice. They want to make the best decision, but sometimes doing so forces them to become mired in a never-ending cycle of evaluating the benefits and drawbacks. It's similar to wanting to sample everything at a buffet, but becoming disoriented by the abundance of mouth-watering options. It might be difficult to break away from an overthinking cycle that only becomes tighter and tighter due to the pressure to choose the best option. When faced with an abundance of options, the self-assured decision-maker abruptly becomes hesitant, leaving them feeling trapped. They may be concerned that they may regret choosing the incorrect option. Their desire to be self-sufficient and independent frequently goes hand in hand with this conflict. They want to make the greatest choice for themselves, but occasionally it can lead to an overabundance of analytical paralysis. Sigma males may choose to pause and think things through thoroughly before acting. Even while it might seem like they're looking for clarity, sometimes this only ends up trapping them in their own minds. While others may see them as being fussy, in reality, it might be difficult to make sense of too many options without being overwhelmed. This little-known fact demonstrates that, even though they are independent, they are still capable of having human decision-making skills. Number 5. They can be hurt by criticism even if they appear unfazed. Nobody truly understands what goes through someone else's mind, particularly when it comes to how they respond to criticism. It's not always the case that Sigma males ignore criticism, despite the impression that they do. Beneath their serene exterior, such reserved personalities are just as vulnerable to the hurtful comments of others. Since Sigma males often have thick skins, not all criticism gets through to them, but when it does, it can cause more harm than others think. Though it's simple to see them as unbeatable and unaffected, they could replay those critiques in their minds repeatedly, wondering what they might have done differently. Even while they may maintain their composure, they are nonetheless feeling the effects. However, They hardly ever tell anyone about that, and certainly not the person who gave them criticism. Rather than expose their weakness to others, they would prefer to handle it alone. Even if they don't show it, they are still processing and evaluating criticism when they are met with it. This may cause them to bear a surprisingly heavy load despite their outward assurance. It can be the case that they truly cherish their independence and self-sufficiency and don't want others to see or perceive them as vulnerable. They hide their vulnerabilities since it might seem unsafe to be exposed. It hurts, even if they might not express it when someone misinterprets them or assigns a negative label to their behavior. Although they would like to wave it off when they receive criticism, it causes them to ponder. They may question if they made a mistake or if their decisions aren't strong enough. Although this type of introspection is normal, the Sigma male may not necessarily view it as a strength. Even if they act indifferently, they could be concerned about what other people think. They are so protective of their autonomy and privacy that any suggestion of criticism from the outside might feel like a personal jab. They may be prevented from expressing that hurt by the urge to preserve their individuality, giving the impression that they are unaffected by others. Number 6. They sometimes question their own path. The way Sigma males seem to go about life, it's easy to assume they've got it all figured out. This, however, is not at all accurate. Just like everyone else, they experience times of uncertainty when they wonder where they're going. Those who perceive them as unwavering and confident may be surprised to learn that they harbor concerns on the inside. These doubtful moments frequently occur when people are alone thinking. Maybe they're sitting in a quiet room thinking back on their decisions or current course of action. They start to question if they're making the correct decision as doubt starts to seep in. Are they living their lives to the fullest? Do they have the proper course? It can be difficult to ignore these questions, particularly if there is no one with whom to discuss them. Sigma males frequently keep these uncertainties to themselves because of concern that it would make them seem insecure or weak. They believe they should be able to solve their problems on their own. Thus, they would rather keep their concerns to themselves. They may feel alone as a result of carrying these doubts alone. It may even seem as though they are the only ones going through this type of uncertainty, which may make discussing it much more difficult. However, these periods of uncertainty can also result in development. They assist the Sigma male in rediscovering their purpose by forcing them to reassess their objectives and priorities. Even though they don't discuss it freely, this is an important aspect of their trip. It reaffirms to them that they are fallible beings and that it is acceptable to periodically doubt their course. Enjoyed this video? Don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content like this. And hey, if you're ready for more, click on the next video right here on your screen. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.